After more than 4 months of pure isolation, it seems like Dream's sad life in prison is coming to an end, with people like Technoblade finally returning to the main storyline. Now, a lot of videos are out there talking about how Dream will escape the Dream SMP prison, but nobody has talked about what Dream will do after he escapes Pandora's vault. With nearly the entire server against him, Dream doesn't have many options, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at one of the most plausible theories out there: Dream joining the Syndicate. But before the video starts, I want to remind you that subscribing is free, and it goes something like this. You press big red button, number go up, and I get one step closer to escaping the dark void that is the Dream SMP lore. Enjoy the video. Now, as I said at the beginning, Dream's escape has been hyped up for months now, but the thing is, I'm not sure if that's his best option. If you don't know already, Dream is literally homeless. No, that's not an overused joke. Dream actually admitted to being homeless during the Disc Saga finale to Tommy and Tubbo. Listen to this.
I cut my attachment.
What do you mean?
I blew up my house. I lost my friends. I lost my items. Lost my crossbow, everything that was important to me, my pets.
So yeah, Dream destroyed his own house because it could be used as leverage. Now, why is this important? Well, it means that he has nowhere to go after he escapes prison. On top of that, his gear, tools, food, potions, all of them were confiscated by Tommy and Tubbo during the Disc Saga finale. So not only is he homeless, but he is also broke. Yeah, the owner of the entire Dream SMP is the poorest member. At this point, Dream has no items, no house, and with nearly the entire server against him, he has to take refuge somewhere. And there is only one place that I can think of that could potentially welcome him: the Syndicate. Not only is the main base of the Syndicate thousands of blocks away from spawn, which makes it a perfect hiding spot for the time being, not a lot of the members actually hate Dream. Technoblade and Phil bonded with Dream over blowing up a country, and Nikki also helped out a bit during the Doomsday War. Plus, even though he's not a confirmed member yet, a live Wilbur, who recently moved in with Phil, owes his life to Dream, so I'm pretty sure that he'll be more than happy to help Dream. The only Syndicate member that might have a problem with Dream is Rambo. As some of you probably know already, it's been implied that Rambo has been secretly visiting Dream in prison, and even helping him with some of his evil deeds for months now. And even though this doesn't sound too bad in this situation, Rambo himself has no recollection of his actions, and he has expressed his hatred towards Dream because of this multiple times now. That's why I think Rambo might cause some ruckus or even straight up leave if Dream ends up joining the Syndicate, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, already we have multiple reasons as to why Dream should and probably will join the organization. But here's one question that we have to ask: do Dream's ideals match up with the Syndicate's? The Syndicate at its core is an organization whose sole purpose is to bring anarchists together, and the basic goal of anarchy is absolute freedom. If we take a look at what has happened to Dream, which is being put inside the most secure structure in the entire server against his will and having his freedom taken away from him, Dream being accepted by the Syndicate makes a lot of sense. Now, one might say, well, even though Dream's imprisonment goes against anarchy, Dream himself has a lot of practice in taking away people's freedom. And yeah, you're right. The entirety of the biggest storyline on the Dream SMP so far started with Dream not wanting Lemmenberg to receive independence. But as we all know, rather than saying what Dream is doing is against anarchy, Technoblade and Phil opted to help Dream in destroying Lemmenberg instead, which leads me to believe that anarchy in the Syndicate's eyes doesn't directly stand for freedom, but rather the elimination of governments instead. If this is indeed the case, I see no reason as to why the Syndicate wouldn't allow a man like Dream, who has a history with destroying governments, to enter the organization. Now, even though all of this alludes to the fact that Dream will be joining the Syndicate, there's still a very big mystery remaining. The first ever meeting of the Syndicate happened over 3 months ago, and inside of it, we were introduced to the concept of code names inside the organization. Each member was to pick an ancient Greek personality as their code name, and use it. Techno picked Protesilaus, Phil picked Zephyrus, and there was one more name written down on one of the chairs, a name that belonged to the secret member of the Syndicate, Harpocrates. Harpocrates was the Greek god of silence and secrecy, and the instant in which this name was revealed, people started to speculate. Members like Callahan, who never speaks, Captain Puffy, and even Tommy, for some reason, were considered possible suspects, and some even said that Dream could be this secret member. Now, the thing is, Harpocrates isn't actually a Greek god. Harpocrates is the Greek representation of the Egyptian god Horus the Child. Yeah, child. Now, this most likely means that Dream is not the secret member, as I'm fairly sure that Dream wouldn't pick a child god to represent himself. Now, you might also argue that all the name Harpocrates is just a way for the secret member to stay, well, secret. Think about it. If the member were to pick a Greek name that even closely resembled their personality, someone could figure it out, and the whole point of secrecy would be broken. And even though that does make sense, there's actually concrete evidence that destroys the possibility of Dream being the secret member. You see, at the time this meeting was conducted, Dream had already been in prison for over a month, and Techno actually hadn't visited Dream up until very recently, which means that there was no way for the two to communicate, let alone discuss the possibility of Dream joining. Not only does the name Harpocrates not line up with who Dream is, he also had no way of getting in touch with Technoblade, which to me says that Dream is not the secret member. But that doesn't mean that Dream won't be joining the Syndicate. In fact, if we look at the number of chairs inside the main meeting room, 4 chairs are made up by the current members, 1 is reserved for the secret one, and guess what? A spot is left unfilled, waiting for a new member to sit on it. Now, if all of that hasn't convinced you already, there's also another reason for Techno to let Dream inside the Syndicate. The Revive book. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does the Revive book have to do with anything? Well, while Technoblade was talking to Dream in prison, the topic of the Revive book was brought up, and Techno seemed more than eager to learn how to revive people.
Alright, you can bring people back from the dead. Yeah, so how do you do that?
I have the knowledge, and I get a book, and then I burn it, and it brings them back to death.
So what is the knowledge? So like, what if you like? I'm just spitballing here. What if you like wrote down how to revive people and then gave it to me, and then I read that? I think that would be pretty fun.
Necromancy would be an extremely useful thing for Techno to have at his disposal, since he runs an organization that is literally made for chaos and destruction. And after Techno breaks Dream out of prison, the favor will then be completed, meaning that Dream will no longer have any leverage against Techno. In fact, by providing protection to Dream by letting him join the organization, Dream will then owe something to Techno, and I think you can fill in the rest. Since Dream and Techno are pretty similar in the sense that they don't want to owe anyone anything, I think that Dream will also try to repay the favor as quickly as possible, and Techno can ask for the Revive book in return for the completion of the favor. Why, you may ask? Well, Technoblade's best friend, Philza, has one canonical life, despite of him not dying once so far in the story. He actually started with 1 life due to his hardcore nature. Because of this, I'd imagine that Techno won't give up on necromancy too fast, since one wrong move or plot point in the story could bring an end to his best friend's life. But hey, that's just a theory. And if it made sense to you, liking the video gives me a huge boost in the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching and stay safe.